So, hello everyone, my name is Sergio Henao, and today we'll be looking at a research that I conducted on sound in the city of Montreal, Canada. So, before we start talking a bit about the research, I just wanted to point out the things that we're going to be looking at in this small documentary. We're going to be looking at what the research problem was, what was the method used to conduct this research, what are the observations we made along the research, the problems and the surprises that we had along the way, and then we're going to come to a conclusion of what we found. So let's get right into it. So the research problem I decided to look at was, are lower income neighborhoods more likely to be affected by sound than higher income neighborhoods? So in other words, what we're looking at is the level of sound exposure have to do with income levels? So, in order to determine that, I conducted and used a method that will answer this research problem. So, we'll now follow on to look at this. So, in order to answer my research problem, I used a method which consisted at looking at two different neighborhoods with different levels of income that were located very near to each other. So, more precisely, about 1.6 kilometer in the neighborhood of Nuns Island. So the method basically consisted of using an app called NIOSH, which allows me to measure the number of decibels heard in that designated area. So what I did is I took the application and measured what was, during a time frame of 30 seconds, the lowest and the highest number of decibels heard in this area. I also was paying attention to other factors such as restaurants, convenience stores, parks, which are places that attract people, therefore creating a lot more noise. So I started off first by going to the lower income area of Nuns Island, which I'm going to show a couple of pictures right here. And so at first sight, I noticed immediately that there was a park, there was restaurants, a convenience store, a library, religious places, so a lot of place for people to gather, therefore, creating more noise. So the second step for me was to take out the NIOSH application and measure the amount of decibels that were being heard during a time frame of 30 seconds. So during that time frame of 30 seconds, the lowest amount of decibels that were heard were 47.7 and the highest amount were 86.4. So I'm going to show a short clip showing the results and how the method was used. So once I was done with the lower income area, I headed to the higher income area, which I'm going to show a couple of pictures right here. And so I noticed immediately it was a much more calm environment. There was no commercial infrastructure, so no libraries or parks or convenience stores. It was very, very residential. And so I had to measure the amount of decibels that were being heard. So I used once again the NIOSH application, and I found out that the lowest amount of decibels heard were 36.6, and the highest amount of decibels that were being heard were 43. So I'm going to show a short clip once again that's going to show you guys the method used and the results. Along the way, I did encounter some surprises and some problems. Um, some problems were, for example, in the lower income area, due to the fact it's a very open space, as you can see in the video, and on the pictures, it was pretty windy, which obviously contributes to there being noise, but also I feel like it makes it less accurate and gives a less precise answer. And some surprises was really how effective the method was. It worked pretty well. The application picked up the noise very, very well, and so I was surprised with how well the method worked. So, in conclusion, we have answered the research problem of are lower income neighborhoods more likely to be affected by noise than higher income neighborhoods? And to this, we can answer yes. And this was all thanks to the method. The method allowed us to answer this research problem through the use of the application NIOSH, which allowed us to determine the amount of decibels that were being heard in these different areas. So hopefully, in the future there will be a way to attack this problem in which lower income neighborhoods are more likely to be affected by noise.